In today's Canva tutorial, I am going to be showing you how to create an animated spiral carousel in Canva. So you can do this two ways. You can do it in a video format or you can do it in presentation. I just do in video because it's usually what it winds up being. So now that I have my format out, what I want to do is set up my background. So what I'm going to do is pick out a background color. I'm going to go pink and white. That's what I want. And I am going to, I want to change it to this orientation and I want the white at the bottom. Kind of just what I want to do. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to go and I want to grab some of these. I am going to reduce the transparency on them. Let me grab this one. Let me flip it. Kind of maybe go this way with it. Turn the transparency down. And you can put whatever you want in the background. Now, what I advise once you do anything with the background, if you're going to do anything fancy with it, is to go ahead and lock it. We're not going to use this. It's just going to help it not move around. So see, it won't move around. You're going to be doing a lot of animation, so you don't want to move these by accident. So once that's in there, you're good. So now I'm going to do my text. I use this right here. I'm going to change that to a white. I'm going to change the effect to a shadow. One shadow. Want black. I'm going to turn the blur up on it and pull the direction in closer. And the other thing you want to do is tighten this up as close as you can because we don't want that extra space in the box, and I'll show you why. And then what you're going to do is just center it up like so in your design. And we're done with that part. The next thing you're going to do is head over to Elements. And what we're going to do is grab a circle frame. And you're going to make it whatever size you want for the center. So I'm going to take that position and I'm going to put it up front. And then maybe I don't want it that big. I am just going to reduce it a little bit here. And then I'm good with my center one that I want. Then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make one smaller. And the size is going to be up to you how big or small you want your other ones to be. I kind of want it a little bit smaller like that. And then you're going to duplicate that and do it the same on the other side like so. And then what you're going to do is duplicate that and make one a little bit smaller. And then you're going to put it in this area here. Now here's a catch with this area. So when you're doing anything that's around your text, or maybe you have like a lipstick, maybe there's a lipstick tube or something like that, be aware of this box. So when you put a frame in, you want to be aware of that box. You want to make sure that is not covered by the box. So like if I put it here, that box, this frame right here needs to be behind, is going to be behind the text. So I don't want it inside of this text box because I won't be able to get to the frame easily. I would have to move the frame every time I was trying to fill it. So you want to have it outside of this box. And then what I would recommend doing is just going here and grabbing a photo real quick and seeing if it'll work. So I want to put the position, I want to put that behind my text, and then I'm going to go and grab a photo. I don't want a video. Show me a photo. Let's see. Give me a photo. We're just going to grab a photo to try and make sure when I go to drag and drop it, it'll go in there. If it doesn't, you might want to move it to the left, to the right, but always test those ones. See, I'm having trouble getting it in there. So if it is, just move it over a little bit further one way or the other. So this doesn't hinder you, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to put it right here, and then I'm going to test it real quick and see if I can drop. Yes, I can drop. So I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to put one up here. And then I'm going to put that behind the text. So these two right here should be behind the text. And then we're going to test. So let's test and make sure we can drop something in there. And she's not dropping. So what we want to do, let's see, can we get her from the top? Yes. So you're not like this one, you'd have to go high, but you can drag and drop her in there. So that's a good spot. That spot's okay. So I want to just go back out of there. And then what I want to do is take this, duplicate it, and then go even smaller. So I'm going to go smaller. If you want to, you can go a little bit off the page. Let's do a little bit. Do we want to go off the page? Nah, we'll just make it small though. And then we'll duplicate that and put that here. And then you want to make sure these two that you've done here, you want to go into position, and that should be those two right here. I'm going to hold my control key to highlight both of them, and both of those need to be behind the text. So you should have 4 behind the text, which are these 4 right here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And these 3 should be in front of the text. That way they will wrap around the text. So now that I have that done, if you want to do the little side thing like I did earlier, I'm just going to duplicate one of these, and then I need to make 7 copies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you can just you can put them whatever way you want up here. I'm going to grab that one, and then let's see where the first one is. This one, shift, then highlight that one, and then I'm going to go into tidy up, and then I'm going to kind of move them. Then I want to move them this way, like so, into something like that. Or you can just stop right here, and if you want to, and you don't have to go any further. You don't have to do this part. On the mobile version, I do this part at the bottom and kind of just have them plop down here at the bottom. I do have a mobile version. If y'all are interested in that, just leave it in the comments, and I'll work something out for y'all with that. All right, so I have my base ready. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go into position. I'm going to go into layers. I'm going to click my first one, scroll down to my last frame, hit the shift key, click on that, and then what I want to do is scroll up or down, hold my control key, and unhighlight my text, which is right here. And then I'm going to turn the transparency down to 0. Okay. So once I have that done, now here's my first page. I want to animate this, so I'm going to go to animate, and I want to use succession on enter, and I want the speed to slow down. Okay, so now we have our first page set and ready to go. I am going to go and I'm going to duplicate that page. Now I'm going to go and take that animation off because I just want it stagnant through the rest of my design. I don't want any animation on it. I just want the animation coming in on my first page. So we're going to be on our second page, and I'm going to go get my photos. So I'm going to go, you're going to get from your uploads, out of Canva, wherever you want to get your photos. So what I would do is go which way you want to bring them in. So I'd go backwards. So I want her to be last, and her, and her. So if they're not in that order, you can go over here and order them the way you want to. But I'm going to hold down my shift key, click the last picture to highlight all my pictures. I'm going to go arrange. I'm going to go center and middle. And then what I'm going to do is reduce this down. Put this in the corner. And I'm going to control C that. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to use this little patch of pictures through my whole animation. And it's just easier to do that. You can go old school and just keep pulling them from your, like here, or your uploads. But I feel it's just easier just to have your little group of pictures right here and use those. So we're on our first one. So what I want to do is find my first frame. I am going to go and I'm going to turn the transparency all the way up. And I'm going to drop my first picture in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I'm going to duplicate the page. I am going to Control V and put my picture photos back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find my second frame. Now you don't have to use circles either. You can use squares, triangles, whatever you want. I just use circles for this. This is just what I want to do. So what I want to do now is I'm going to move her over one, and then I'm going to put the next one in behind, and then I'm going to take these and I'm going to trash them. I'm going to duplicate the page again. I am going to find my third frame. I'm going to turn the transparency up. I'm going to Control V, and I am just going to keep. Oh, I don't want to grab all of them. Hold on. Click out of it. 1, 2, 3. Trash the ones I didn't use. Duplicate the page. Now we know we're in the center. Turn the transparency all the way up. Control V. Click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trash. Duplicate the page. Find my one over here. There it is. Turn it up. Control V. And I'm going to 1, 2. And I'm just moving them around. And this keeps them in order, and it just makes it easier to do. And like sometimes, like you're doing a carousel, you'll forget what order they're in and all that kind of stuff. To me, it keeps them in the same order all the time. You don't have to think about it. So we're going to duplicate the page, and it's just easier all the way around, I think, anyway. But it's a personal preference. So I'm going to turn the transparency up on our next one. Control V, click out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then trash. Duplicate. We'll find our last little one over here. Where are you? There you are. Sometimes they're hard to find. Sometimes you can go into position tabs and try to find them. Sometimes I just go around until I find it. And then I'm going to Control V. I'm going to click out of it. And I'm going to move her over. There she goes. Doot. And then you can just quickly put these in here. And we used them all that time. So I'm going to, now we're going to start doing a different part of the animation. So we got everything in there. So I'm going to duplicate the page. Where we're going to start moving them up the side over here. So I am going to Control V. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find my bottom one here. I am going to turn the transparency up, and I'm going to move them this way. So she's here. She's here. So we're still going in line. So we're going to put her there. So what you want to do with this one, because we don't want this one anymore, we don't throw it in the trash because it'll make a weird blip. So what you want to do is go over here. You want to do this, detach the image, put it in the trash, click back on this, and turn the transparency back down to 0. You're going to keep that frame there, but you're going to make it disappear. So now we're going to duplicate the page, and we're going to keep doing that. So I'm going to Control V. I'm going to go find my next one over here. We're going to go up. I'm going to do transparency all the way up on this one. And what we're going to do is just move her up. And we're going to have them going up. So now I'm going to grab her, detach the image, throw it in the trash, take this, and do the transparency all the way down. And then we're going to duplicate that page. So I'm going to Control V. I'm going to go over here, find my next one, turn that all the way up. Like I said, you don't have to do this part. That is a personal preference. Or you can do it something different over here. Just remember when you're doing an animation like this and you're moving from frames, the frame has to be the same frame all the way through. Otherwise, it won't move from a circle to a square. Unless something's changed in Canva that I do not know about at the moment, which could be possible. They're changing things every day. But as far as I know, at this moment, you can't go from one shape frame to another. So I'm going to duplicate the page. We're going to go up again. I am going to turn the transparency up on this one. I'm going to Control V. I'm going to grab my photos, go up, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to take her, detach, trash, click, transparency down. Duplicate, Control V, go over here, find my next one, turn it up, start layering them in. Layer, 2, 3. And if you want to be doing some kind of text effect with that too, you can. That's another personal preference. Attach, trash. Then we're going to duplicate. We're going to get the next one. Move the transparency up. Control V. Click out. And keep on rolling. We're going to roll and roll and roll. Grab this. Detach the image. Trash. Grab it. Go down all the way. And then duplicate the page. Find the last one. Go over here. Turn the transparency up. And then Control V. Go out here. Go up. 2, 3. And there we go. So we have these over here. And if you want to do something else fancy, you can go and duplicate the page. Maybe you want to flip that this way and take the girls and move them around like so. Make some bigger. Maybe fill it up some. It's just a personal preference. All right. So now let's get to the razzle dazzle. Make it razzle dazzle. So you're going to go in between your pages. We're going to take our match and move. We're going to turn it all the way up. We're going to apply it between all the pages, which is going to shrink it down to about 2.5. I want to take that first one and make that 2.5 too then. That's a good one for animation because you want to make sure, especially if you're doing products, that people can see the product, have time to see the product. You can go even lower if you want to. You just go up here, go onto here. I want to we can do 2. Enter. And it says 2.2. Sometimes you got to do it a couple times in Canva. 2 seconds. And then you might need to go do this. I find the 3 is usually where it'll get to everything's the right, what you want it to be. And then sometimes I go check my match and move and make sure that's still turned all the way up. So now we're going to watch our animation that we just created. We're going to come in and we're going to see it go behind. You see it going behind, went around. It's going to go in front. It's going to stay in front. It's going to start going behind, and then it's going to go over, and then they're going to go up. And like I said, if it's too slow for you, you can always change your timing on these. And then you can do something like that. And that's how you do that. And here's the animation for the mobile one that I did. Like I said, if y'all like that one, please leave it in the comments. I'll do one for that. And I thank you guys for stopping by. If you lasted this long, I love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye, y'all.